Okay, now you would have saw in the first video that I had this Max 6, Hobbywing Max 6, fantastic ESC. A lot of guys use these in the Traxxas X-Max, which is like a 1/7 scale car. Not really for a 1/10 scale car. Now the issue I had here, now this can go all the way up to 8S, right? This is a 1/10 scale. Now when I was putting it in here initially, I was like, oh yeah, it might fit. Maybe I can shimmy it in there, but I just think it might be a little bit too much power. I'm not going to be underutilizing it because it's 8S. I'm not going to run 8S in this. This on 4S will be more than enough, but obviously I'm going to put a 6S in there. And then I thought, hang on a minute, I have another ESC that will be perfect for this. Now this is a Toro TS150 competition ESC. It's 150 amp, 1/8 scale ESC, fully waterproof, all that good stuff. I use it in this guy. And this is a 1/8 scale car, and as you can see, you can just see how small the actual PROLINE 4x4 is. So it's tiny, and that Toro was in there, and I was only running that on 4S, I believe. This guy on 4S. So if we line these two up, much different, obviously much smaller, but this is, I think, capable more than enough for this guy here. And obviously it's going to fit in there more snugly, more securely. It's not going to make Kavo happy because Kavo probably he says, "Oh, put a Max 5 in here. Put a Max 5 and put 8S in it." You know, doesn't. I'm not going to do that. It's just too much power, I believe. I think sometimes there's a little thing called too much power, and I won't be utilising this to the full potential. So what I might do is I might grab this guy and put it up in that UDR there, because I might run that on 8S later on. That will be beneficial. That's a 1/7 scale car, so that's a little bit bigger. That on 1/6 is great. Oh, sorry, on 6L is great. So yeah, this a little bit too much power. Yeah, so I think next step is get rid of these Deans. I know what I was thinking. Kick those to the curb. Solder some XT90s on there, and yeah, I guess we've got to put this in. Fits in much nicer, and then we've got to get the motor, which is, we've got it here. Now if you guys want a more in-depth look at all these parts, check out the unboxing video, or part 1. Here is my 10-shock X802L 1950 kV motor. So that's obviously going to go in there, and there we go, look at that, it just fits in much nicer. It's like it's meant to be. With the Max 5, it was overhanging here at the back as well. Obviously I could 3D print a mount, but yeah, this is just suited. That just looks nice. That's actually a good fit. Everything goes in there, obviously securely, but yeah, let me get some XT90s on there. I can double side tape that down, and if I can, I'll get a nice cable tie there, or even some hot glue. Hot glue lately been finding works fantastically as well, because I can just break it off without damaging the parts. So hot glue, and if I can get a cable tie in there, XT90s on there, and away we go. So sorry guys, I'm not using the Max 6, but I think a lot of you guys might think that might have been overkill anyway. But at least I have a place for it. Don't worry about that. Toro was in that. So if you want to go check out this, I have some videos about that on my channel. But we've got to put it back on the wall because I had various other things in here. Yeah, alright, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let's get this all sorted. Soldered on the XT90 connector. Ready to go there. That's very nice. Now I'm just figuring out the best position to put this now. It's got so much wire off the brushless motor. What I'm doing is cutting it maybe down to around about there and running these ESC wires kind of neatly down there. Yeah, kind of like that. You know what I'm getting at. And then I guess I can put the receiver sticker here to the side. I don't really want it on the chassis, so maybe I can stick it to the side here so everything runs down. All the cables run down this one wall here. And just double side tape that ESC down. But that's looking very nice. All good there, and yeah, just put it down. So I guess next step is cutting this cable down to length. Don't worry around about there. Don't need all this cable. It's a bit too much. So cut that down. And also I've got these bullets that I need to solder onto the end here so they can fit right into the ESC. Okay, quickly, there we go, all soldered up. I know they're on the, I only had red and black heat shrink, but that'll do. So cut the wires down, it's going to make it nice and neat and manageable. That's going to go there, that's going to go there. Pretty happy about that actually, it does look quite nice. Nothing that a bit of cable ties and double-sided tape won't make it even look even better. What I want to do next is I want to pull this motor mount off and get that all secured so I can actually put the pinion on, get that locked away so it's not all moving around, and then we can lock everything else down. Okay, I've got the motor out, and as you can see, with this particular larger size motor, it doesn't line up correctly. Simple fix. PROLINE have this little space here that allows you to use smaller motors to make it sit in line, and everything will be centered up like that. But with this larger motor, has a little space. All you need to do is just take this out. It's got 2 screws up there. We'll take that out, and with that you should be able to sit it nice and snug and right in the middle, and 2 holes should line up and we can screw it down. And PROLINE does have a nice instruction manual on how everything should fit, so it gives you a basic indication of what they recommend, how you lay it out. It's got this kind of weird position for the steering servo. The horn and all that kind of stuff has to be in that kind of weird configuration, but that's easy. But here is that information I was just telling you about. It's got that little motor support when you're using smaller 1/10 motors, but 1/8 motors like mine, you take that out, easy. And also it's got this cool little spacer, so for motors with a 3mm shaft you can use the included pinion reducer. That's pretty cool, but because I have a 1/8 scale motor, I don't need that. The pinion that you get with it, oops, sorry about that, just go right here, done. And all the hardware you need to secure that is included. So we've removed the motor mount, and if you're using a 1/8 scale motor, you have to use, well, it tells you all the information here, but we need to attach the motor using M4x10. So we'll get that all out, and yeah, get that locked away. So there's your different sizes. You got the 1/10 scale motors and the 1/8 scale ones here. As you can see, they are larger. I'll just quickly just put one in there by hand, because you can obviously rotate the motor, and I want the motor wires kind of on an angle out of the way, not directly on top. So I just put them there, and I'm thinking that looks pretty good there, just like that, out of the way. I just try to make everything as neat as I possibly can, and that looks pretty good. I can even I guess clock it one more that way too, but if I do that, then it'll probably be too high up. But anyway, I'm going to use Loctite on this. Blue Loctite, always what you want when it's into metal, and especially motor mounts, that's for sure. So lock that guy away, and yeah, I've got to put it on this one too. Okay, all done, all locked away. I'll get the pinion now, and we can just put it on there just to see how it's all going to fit. Obviously you want the straight shaft to lock on that grub screw. There it is there, so that's cool. That's everything. Everything's going to be easy accessible, so I can even, I'll get that mesh perfectly, the spacing, once it's in the car. That's easy to do because the grub screw is easy to get access of here, so that's no problem. Because it's got these, I don't know, eccentric, or I'm not too sure, but these are weird spacers. Now with the gear meshing, it's set. As you can see, it's got these spacers that give you options, so 14 tooth all the way up to 18 tooth, and PROLINE gives you all these separate little spacers. The one that comes on the kit, well, the one that's installed, is the 15 tooth on the bottom of the car, and as you can see, there's 2 little dots there. That's indicating it needs a 15 tooth, but because I'm running the 16 tooth, we need to change it to the 3 dots, and it's all available, it's all in the kit, so that's easy. So all you need to do, flip it around, make sure they're in the correct position, so it tells you the front of the vehicle, and you know, they've got to be in that direction. So I'll flip it upside down, get a couple screws in, then I'll show you how it looks. So for example, here I have 2 just lightly installed there, no Loctite on there, and as you can see, you come in separate ones that you need. I need the ones with the 3 dots, that's what it does, and the dots, if the car's facing this way, have to be up on this direction of the car, and that's it. Get the included screws that you got with the kit in the beginning, and yeah, lock them away, easy. I'll put Loctite on that, and then we can move on to the pinion and see how good that mesh is. And when you take out the screws, man, these things fly off, so keep your eye out for those. They grow legs and they just run. Whenever I drop something, I always stop everything I'm doing, and I just, if I can hear it, I'll watch it. And try here last time where it landed, and then I'll search there because I lose so many different little screws and stuff. There we go, 2 more to go, that's it. And there we have it, nicely meshed up. Seems pretty good, a little bit tight, but I guess it'll wearing a little bit. That is plastic geared to metal, but it's fixed. And one thing to note, that I had this with my instructions, so this is a labeling correction. The one that comes, the manual that comes with it, it said stock 16 tooth is 2 holes, or 2 marks, but it actually is 3, so I made sure I done that correctly. When it comes with the kit, the two marks are on it, but you got to make sure that you change them over to the ones with the 3 little holes here, or the 3 little marks, as you can see, because I double checked. I tried it with the 2 and it was far too tight. So there you go there. And that is it. The motor is in. That Loctite will dry nicely. The pinion and spur are nicely lined up. All the teeth are grabbing, which is good. Next step is, well, I think I showed before the servo I'm using. Now I've got this guy as well. Now this guy came from Gearbest. I'll leave the link in the description as well. Check out this guy. It's a 40 kilo brushless, voltage range from 6 volt to 8.4, but it's kind of a weird design. I'm not too sure. It doesn't have the little the standoffs on the side, and it's got another thing. I'm not too sure. In the comment, let me know what this is. Is this for like a helicopter or something, or robotics? You'll probably be able to use it, but it's got pretty impressive speeds at 7.2 volts, 0.13 at, and also I can go from 6 volts as well. But at 8 volts, you can do 0.11 and 40 kilos. So pretty sweet, because the voltage range, is 6 to 8.4. So I might not use this, but more than likely use this guy because it's quick enough. It's 30 kilos, it's waterproof. I'm not too sure about the other specs, if it's waterproof on the other one, but I'll leave the link in the description for both of these ones if you want to go check them out. They're from Gearbest, but this one will probably do more than enough for this little car. And there we go there. I'm probably going to position the ESC and the wires just like that. I don't have to show you everything on camera, that part. But one thing that's nice is underneath just here, it's got this little wire management, so you can, because I want to mount the probably receiver here or just here, and you can run that wire, servo wire, all the way underneath those little ties there, those little clips just down there. That's nice. So I get some good double-sided tape on this, and we can lock everything away. Yeah, looking sweet. I like a nice and neat wiring, that's for sure. So far so good. Pretty happy with that. Just made room for the receiver. I'm going to put it just on this side panel here, along with the power switch I put down there. So that's some good quality 3M tape, and I've also put that on the bottom of the ESC as well. That seems pretty solid. But yeah, I'll wrap a cable tie around here, keep everything nice and neat, and make sure everything's in the right direction. Obviously, once that's all done, then I'll lock it away with some more cable ties and make it look a little bit more neater. But there we go. I think the next step is putting the steering servo in. Pretty easy. Take off this top plate, and that just sits in there. Now, first thing we have to do, obviously, is take off this pre-mounted aluminium bracket, and it's so thin. Look how the profile of that. But yep. It is what it is. And for this particular servo, I needed to cut off this plastic support. No biggie. Normally you always have to cut them off. But it's no problem. Done that many a times. And like that said before, that other servo doesn't have any. That's weird. Let me know what that one is for, guys. Interesting to know. Maybe I could retrofit it into a car, I'm not too sure. Now installing the servo, super easy. You get your plate, feed it through here under the bottom like that of the servo, and you got this little U plastic piece that sits into the slot for the metal servo bracket. That just gives it some good purchase when you screw it down through this side, just here. If I grabbed it with both hands, and there we go. So I'll just put this one down. There we go. So it's pretty easy. So just like that. There we go. It's good to do them both at the same time, actually, so they're not twisting too much. Put one on the other side, and then we can torque them down at the same time, really. and we'll get that all lined up. But we'll put this one in so I'm not losing that screw. Back this one out a bit and then line everything back up how it should, like that, and that's it. Now the servo cable needs to be fed under the center differential here. There's a little channel. So how's that looking? There we go, that looks like it's supposed to. So that little bit. There's a little channel under here. That channel there, and this servo cable runs through there and out to the other side, just like that. So if I put this down just in here so I can show you. There we go, so it runs through underneath that center differential, and there's your servo all nicely laid out, and that's it. Nothing much to it. Got to screw it all down now, and that's it. It's perfect height. It just misses the bottom of the chassis. I'll put the other two in here. You've got to make sure you put the two with the washers on this side, and there's another two that hold that whole bracket down there as well. And there we have it, nicely installed. I got to make sure that I have a steering horn for this. I have to go check in my arsenal, but a lot of your comments I've been reading out, they were saying upgrade the center spur gear to metal and change the servo saver gear to metal straight away. I probably will do that eventually, but the whole point of this build off is to get everything stock. Anything I might change is the fluids, like I might change this up to 1 million weight, just reading comments like that. But everything else on the cars, we want to leave stock, just to give a good baseline. I know one might be stronger than the other, but that doesn't matter. We want to just kind of get them all stock and then give them a good bash. And when we do break stuff, because we will, then we'll change them out, which is no big deal. So just build them as stock as a kit, and then we can change stuff up later. So yeah, servo horn time, and that's it. And then we can start with the actual wheels. Now, I didn't have an aluminium servo horn. I did have the one that came with the kit. I just made it a little bit shorter because it requires like a little stumpy horn there, but everything's cool. Everything is locked away. It works. Plug everything up, put the battery in, and that is the PROLINE MT 4x4 pretty much put together. Obviously I've got to paint the body, and that's it. Yeah, so far so good. I definitely listened to you guys. They were telling me that the plastic servo horn breaks, so like I mentioned before, I'll probably change that later on, and I'll probably get the steel spur gear as I see fit. But let's get everything plugged up, get a battery in there, make sure everything works, and pick a colour for that body, I guess, as well. Alrighty guys, now it's been a few weeks, been flat out with other projects and work, but as you can see, I basically just painted it in, to me, a white. I like white, it's my favourite colour, or shade, whatever you want to call it, but there you go, that's how it looks. I think it looks pretty cool. I still got to put the stickers on, that is next. One thing I noticed that, remember when I was putting these, it's got these little special spaces here. Well, the ones that they recommended for the, I believe it's a 16 tooth, were incorrect. Now the mesh was too actual tight, it wasn't spinning enough. You would have seen that in the previous clips. I needed to go with the ones that has the 4 holes, or the 4 little indentations, which gave me the best mesh, because now it actually rolls. Before it was far too tight, it would just stop. But that's perfectly now. I've tested it, everything seems to work really, really well. There's been no issues at all. So I do believe it told me to use the ones that have the 3 dots. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there, but easy fixed. With that, as you can see, servo is in, everything is nicely meshed up. Seems really cool. I've kind of made everything kind of neat here. This is kind of hard, or we don't want this servo wire to be hanging around in the breeze, because it can get caught on the pinion here and get it mashed up pretty quickly. So underneath here you got this little cable management clips, so I clipped it up there, went around, looped it up top of here for the little stubby antenna, and everything is fine and dandy now. Looks cool. Everything is ready to rock and roll. I have tested it quickly and everything works as it should. Very happy about that. Now Kavo's creation, I think his video is really long, so I was originally going to put this one and then his one and then, well, another one, which will be this series after his video. But what I'll do, I'll put mine, these two up first, and he can do his one first after mine, because he's super long. He's doing a build series with like the what's it called, the time-lapse type of thing. So Anyway, let me get some stickers on this, and then we'll wrap up this video, because in the next one after Kavo's, we'll definitely have them out and having a good old bash, which is what we all want to see. And there she is. I'm pretty minimal with my stuff. I like it quite plain. I think simple is more. So just the basic stickers, the front lights, the little lights at the bottom here. It's PROLINE MT 4x4 at the back. PROLINE, sorry, the sides. PROLINE at the back, and the lights and the door handles. That's it. I think it looks pretty cool. One thing I hate is stickers that they have to cut. Anyway, first world problems, right? There we go. Once it's all on there, it does look pretty sweet. Pretty happy with how it's turned out. Like I said, simple is more in my books. I do love that that body. It looks pretty cool. And these PROLINE mounts, Secure locks I think they're called, second to the X-Max style of body securing. I think these are really cool. They keep them on really tight. But I think that's it. That wraps it up for my build series for the PROLINE Pro MT 4x4. Now it's all up to Kavo to put his video up finally, and that'll just be one, not two, and that'll be one longer one, and that'll be, I guess, unless he changes it, but put everything together like a time-lapse thing. And then the next time we see him will be together bashing them out, because they are ready to rock and roll. So there we go. Check that out. Looks pretty cool. They're not new, they've been around for a while, but yeah, it looks cool, eh? I love it. Really strong little truck, and pumped how it's turned out. So if you like the video, give it a good old thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified of all my latest videos, including this one where we take them out, or Kavo's one first, and then we can take them out and do a little bit of a comparison and then a good old bash, and then obviously something's going to break, and then we will upgrade to like the metal spur gear, and I think there were some other components here, maybe I think something to do with the actual steering, and then we'll change them up and see what breaks first. But yeah, thanks guys, hope you enjoyed the video, see you in the next one.